I want to get into Total Recall.
All right, real quick. Who had not had all of you seen it before this?
Last time I saw it, I was like 10.
I had never seen it.
And my only memory of it was there was 3 boobs.
I knew that, and I hadn't seen the movie.
I didn't even remember the Quato.
Whenever their faces were all like jacked up on Mars, those were my only memories of this movie as 10-year-old.
Pretty close to that, Michael. Actually, yeah.
Stupid things that shocked me at that age, like, oh, what the hell?
Yeah,
oh,
nightmares.
Hell. That's all I took away from it.
Yeah. It's just boobs and suffering on Mars.
Yeah, their faces exploding.
Also, looking up things about
the weird like belly dude.
Oh yeah, like
Quato.
Yeah,
open your mind.
AC is
you're not smoking enough dope, boy. Come on, get in here.
A pet Kawato. Yeah, we had a whole like top thing set up for the stream and all.
If things ever go to hell, AC, you can be my little Quato. There's room here.
I want a Quato.
Hey, here's a thought: double Quato. Just throwing it out.
I don't. Where would you like? You fine? You could be on my shoulder, like looking around.
No. The Quato has a Quato. It's just like
dear God.
The endless mirror just keeps on going. It keeps smaller and more wide.
Like and then Battsauce is just an indentured slave who cleans underneath the folds between the Quatos.
The word folds is not a good word. The human body. I don't want to hear the word.
You guys want to clean under the folds?
No.
Quick, play a transition.
All right, so Justin, let's go through our weekly overview of the weekly movie.
Real quick.
All right, so the
Animation Overload.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Yeah, luckily, hey, Tim K, thank you. Welcome to the stream. Luckily, it's okay if you're here because the T is raised by the Arnold Armstrong movie, so it's safe for you to be here.
Yeah, it raises the T of everybody who beholds it.
It's true. It's true.
It took me a second to figure out what you meant.
This week was movies from our birth year, and so Total Recall won, and you have to wonder.
Freaking barely, mine was set to win.
Damn it!
You got to sit there dangling in the wind, I believe is the old adage as to which one of us was from 1990. Maybe it was all of us. You don't know. Who would know? Nobody knows. They'll never know.
No one here from 94. Definitely not me. Yeah.
Probably not. Probably not.
You're younger than my little brother. Nobody.
Oh, fuck
in
off.
particular.
Nobody.
So there.
Oh, Christ.
So, Total Recall.
I'm the oldest of us all. I was born in the 80s.
Nice.
Justin, you were too. Yeah.
I was.
Yeah.
When
Bats, are you 90?
What?
92
years old?
You 92?
Yeah, 92
You're
years
90 years old, brother?
No.
No.
Bats was born in 2006.
I'm having a stroke.
Yeah, I'm 16, guys.
Yeah, guys.
All right, Justin, do your overview. I want to talk about the movie. Guys, stop distracting him.
All right. So 1990 is Total Recall, and the rundown, the summary of this movie, as you will, whatever, was when a man goes in to have vacation memories of the planet Mars implanted in his mind, an unexpected and harrowing series of events forces him to go to the planet for real. Or
but what happened, Justin?
We'll get to it. This was written by Philip K. Penis. It was directed by
It's based off a book. Philip.
Philip K. Dick.
There's more. Yeah, Philip K. Johnson. It was directed by Paul Verhaven. And I wrote Hollow Robo Popo. I don't even know what I was supposed to be saying there. Oh, it was the guy who did he did Hollow Man and RoboCop, aka Robo Popo. Stars. Me and AC, we figured this out. We put it together beforehand. Bats is very impressed.
Yeah, it was great.
Justin is sober, for anyone wondering, despite how he's acting.
Starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Who, for me?
No, Kahuna.
Oh, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sharon Stone. Fine. And Michael Ironsides. That can't be a real last name. Budget.
It better be a real last name.
It's better than Philip K. Penis.
That's is it though? I don't know. $156 million was the budget in today dollars, and it grossed $290 million. Comes in at an hour and 53. They couldn't make it to 2 hours. They couldn't cut it back to an hour 45. But that is the rundown for Total Recall, the original, not the remake with Colin Farrell and that one lady and that other lady.
I had seen that version for some butt effing reason. I don't know why. That one was bad.
I got thoughts on that one.
It's not
that
bad.
one's not bad. It's just
Jessica
not
Biel and Kate Beckinsale. And
it's not as good.
It was like, so forgettable. And it's after watching this one, why would they make it like that?
I don't know. There's still some. I had very specific scenes from that movie, like very memorized. Jessica Biel sliding, or not Jessica Biel. Whatever her name is.
Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, Kate Beckinsale sliding across the room, like with all that action going on, and then also like the elevator. Like there was a weird elevator in that one.
I had the scenes from Mars stuck in my head from the remake. You know that scene on Mars?
No.
No,
wait,
there
wasn't any.
Yeah, that's right, AC. There wasn't any.
Oh, it was the old
throwing shade. Colin Farrell, Colin Forgetful.
Yeah, so I was about 20 minutes into this movie, and I was like, "Is this based off of a Philip Dick book?" And then go figure it is. Because I read
penis books. Did he write it?
Gave it away.
He is a incredibly famous, popular sci-fi author, and this his books read very similar. He also did Scanner Darkly, which is another popular one. He did a couple others. I very recently read Ubik, which is like kind of the same deal going on. There's psychics. There's like you don't know exactly what reality is. Like is he in a dream? Is he not in a dream? Kind of thing. So yeah, it's very much the same style and format, and yeah, I very enjoyable.
Is this too loud, Magic? Sorry.
No, more.
That makes sense why the opening scene is so well.
Kahuna.
That makes sense why the opening scene is so well placed. I'll say because I shouldn't say it's super well written. It's good though, because I think if it was a little bit more direct, but it makes sense. If it's from a book, it makes sense because
did Philip K. Dick write "Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep" or am I high?
I don't think so.
I believe so.
I thought he did. I'm pretty sure he did.
He basically half of the sci-fi classic movies
from 1975 to 90 were all him.
Yeah.
Philip K. Johnson.
I already made that joke.
It was Philip K. Trouser Snakes.
Yeah. Philip K. Trouser Snakes.
It's like Michael Moorcock. Their jokes write themselves. Anyway.
I was gonna say Philip K. Trouser Snake sounds like an evil villain in Sherlock Hamster, but that's a little bit too sexual.
I hope don't put that in your book, children's book.
No, I was gonna say do it, but then don't do it for sure.
Oh, it was Philip.
Yeah.
Philip K. Trouser Snake.
Yeah.
That's gonna be my pseudonym.
Yeah, AC, talk about the opening song.
Tell us.
You mentioned it's from a novel. Well, a common thing with novels and just storytelling in general is to have a microcosm of the book as the opening scene. This is why you see a lot of seemingly out of place openings. Like, why did it start here and then cut to the kid on the farm? You know what I mean?
That's a big style of him as a writer in general.
Yeah.
He likes to mess around with that in the beginnings of his stories.
He's always fucking with you. He's always tapping you on the shoulder, being like, "Is it real?"
Well, he's always making you ask the question.
Yeah.
Hey, bud.
Yeah. Hey, you thinking about that? But anyway, but it's like just good storytelling to kind of present the consumer with everything that you're going to get into, a microcosm of the story, a little bit of foreshadowing, a good start, obviously, but just like all the themes, everything rolled into one opening scene. That's also, guess what? The hook. So what they did in this makes a lot of sense. If it's from a book that that you can actually tell that it's from a book in hindsight. But anyway, the opening scene is just filled with all kinds of symbolism, which this movie on its face just looks like a kind of a lowbrow action sci-fi, with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And you wouldn't be wrong to assume that. But the people who went into it, like I just said, translated it well, just from the opening scene, and they more importantly they cared about it, because they're filling it with all kinds of symbolism, like for example, he's on Mars, hostile environment, he's trapped in a suit, and that's the only supply of air. He has this mysterious woman with him, so it's all this stuff happening within the context of a dream, and all this stuff makes a lot of sense in the context of the movie and within the story. So like, not only is he on Mars, but and in a hostile environment at some point in the story, like, yeah, that's direct foreshadowing. But Quaid throughout the entire movie is like, he's running from people trying to kill him. He's in a hostile environment, even in his household with his wife, no matter what. So right off the bat, that's kind of on the nose. And the spacesuit, yeah, he's on Mars, in a spacesuit, I think, even at one point in time. But more importantly, the colonies on Mars are in their own kind of spacesuit in the form of the domes and the air that's being sold to them by the corporations. And stuff like that.
It's also that, like, people, we leave Earth, we go to Mars. The problem of us being human, all of our problems follow with us. We can't escape that just by going somewhere else as well.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
My final thought on this before we continue. Just like all that in consideration, the mysterious lady, that's telling you that the story is going to revolve around like a mysterious lady, and moreover, and a little less directly, his wife, right? Like the woman in his life, right off the bat, when you open with that, it's kind of foreshadowing towards her being one of the plot twists, right? And not only that, all of that is a dream. So is the movie a dream when you consider he's getting memory implants, right? And literally it cuts to him just waking up on a bus. We don't know, right? That's so everything about that, all kinds of symbolism and foreshadowing, and people still to this day debate whether or not the entire movie is just a dream anyway, and none of it matters because of that scene, the opening.
So the openings are the biggest evidence to it being not a dream. But
because he has the real dream that he wakes up from, and she kind of talks about it in detail as if he's had this dream before. It's the only thing to me that indicates that maybe the whole thing wasn't a simulation after he was hooked up to the machine.
And he dies too. Keep that in mind. In the dream, like his mask is smashed, and him and his lady flop around and swell up and die, and then he wakes up.
Well, like there are some big there are a couple of changes that are small in some ways, but kind of fundamental in others that they made between the book and the movie. In the book, the character is very he's an office worker, kind of a very ordinary guy who, like, if you walked into a crowd, you'd lose him because he there's nothing to distinguish him from your
Arnold
everyday
Schwarzenegger is both the best casting and the worst casting at the same time.
I looked it up. He did this for 3 different roles. Terminator. The original idea for the Terminator was that he could slip into a crowd and he would just look like anyone else. And then Arnold walks in, he's like, What if we use one of the best physiques in human history instead?
And they're like, "Oh my, okay."
Yes.
So
pool boy from Golden Girls, right? The other show, whatever.
So later we find out he does go to get his memory right. There's a thing called Total Recall where they basically you can have vacations, just the memory of a vacation, not actually have to deal with the hardship of the dealing with travel and all this stuff. Which is the big sci-fi element thrown into this movie, which is really cool. I will say they kind of like, hey, there's this guy who went schizo or whatever, like got fucked up super hard through this, so be careful. I'm just thinking now, I'm like, what if that's him?
What if this has happened before? What if they use the machine to fix him by erasing memory of that?
What if he was the one that had the schizo episode?
And, schizophrenic something, right? What they call it?
Schizoid Embolism, the best band from the 80s.
Schizoid. Yeah, AC knows. He's in the scene.
Punk rock band name.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, they do that. There's also the hint when he talks about with his coworker. He's like, "I'm thinking about doing this," and the coworker is like, once he walks away, he's like, like, oh fuck, we gotta check up on him. So more hint that like it does have a secret past or something like that.
Again, I think the real answer is that it's up to interpretation, because that's all Philip K. Dick stories.
Yeah,
the worst answer.
Justin's like, I need answers.
I know Philip Dick is the one person, or not the one person, but he's like, all of his books are just like this. It really is the best way to end it. And then I don't know, it makes it so rewatchable at the same time, because there's so many things that you want to like wait, did I miss this? Where there's all these little things throughout the movie that are little clues to the possible conclusion. Whatever you may think that is.
Also, until I watched this, I wouldn't have guessed before watching it that this was one of the most expensive films of its time when it first came out. They like $65 million back then was a lot of dough to be dropping on a film, especially. Oh yeah, it made money.
I imagine everybody went to the movies to see this.
We did the rundown, and the budget was 156, and it made almost 300. So it didn't like break down the door, but it made its money back. And some of the special effects, especially the fat lady suit, that was
it was really good.
Wow. Some of the practical combined with some of the digital is actually really good for 1990.
2 weeks.
Agreed. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
No other phrase.
I can't believe they got a trans actor in here too. Arnold.
So basically, when he goes to do the memory thing, the guy convinces him. He's like, "Well, we could also give you this, like the secret agent package, where like you're gonna think you're a secret agent for the week." And he's like, "Okay."
And then they spoil the entire plot of the film.
Yeah,
you notice that?
It's almost like it was all a dream or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So like basically,
remember it for you wholesale or something.
2 weeks.
Yeah. So when he goes to get his memory swaps, they're like they have to like stop it because they're like something's going wrong. And now he now he thinks he's a secret agent.
Turn it off.
Yeah.
The fight.
That's
the fight between him and his wife. Chat, let us know. Let us know, chat, right now. One's in the chat if we should add a very quick, out of context shot of Schwarzenegger punching a woman in the face.
Some fun behind the scenes fact about that: they couldn't stand each other, and everybody on set was like, they're real. Whenever they have their fight, like their physical scenes, they're really they're putting more into it than maybe they should.
Arnie and Sharon, is that what you mean?
Yeah, they couldn't stand. They could not stand each other. Is what they all said.
Thinking about his house cleaner the whole time. That's all that was.
Yeah, can you speak with a Spanish accent and gain a whole bunch of weight?
I'll be shorter.
I cannot understand you. Perfect.
Oh yeah, chat's
interesting. This is the second movie we've reviewed on this where the wife is like not real. She's an actress. Because Truman Show was the same deal.
It gave me very much Truman Show vibes too. That was for sure.
Yeah. Similarly, not to go on a tangent, but just pointing out, guys didn't get pointed out yesterday with Ghost of the Badlands, the one-arm guy. Same thing as Master and Commander, one-arm kid.
Demolition Man. I agree. The one that I didn't love as much as I wanted to was RoboCop. I wanted to love the movie and I just liked it. It was good, just not as good as I wanted.
I haven't seen RoboCop since I don't even know when.
Robo Popo, as we've
Robo.
So throughout the movie, basically he's kind of playing out exactly what they said his memory would be, but they're also kind of trying to convince you that it's not the memory. So you're very much asking this question: is this real or is this not?
It does a better job of the is it or isn't it than most movies, especially from back then.
Totally real.
Yeah.
Whole thing.
So he goes to Mars because he has to meet this girl. That's like part of the whole objective thing. He gets there and then he finds out there's mutants there. They're kind of psychic, and there's this whole secondary thing going on in Mars that he gets thrown into, which is basically there's like a revolution. Which there was a great quote by the taxi driver when he hops in. Oh.
I love the taxi driver. He was so much fun.
I did for a while. I was like, yo, I like this guy. He's cool. And then he had to be a jerk.
Yeah. But
Benny.
Well,
Yeah, so
I liked how how cool he seemed when he was a good guy, and then I loved how much of a flagrant cock he was after he revealed his double status, so to say.
He's got his little machine just trying to grind him into dust.
Screw you!
there's even a scene where like a random old guy, because like there is this thing where like the people that are trying to like kill him or not trying to kill him, because you don't really know yet, because the supervisor in charge of killing him is too low on the pay scale to know what's going on. And so like they even throw in this like old dude that comes in. He's like, hey, I work with the company that does the memory thing. Like, I'm here to guide you out. This is all a dream. It's not real. And he's like,
or we're gonna unplug you. Yeah, we're gonna.
So they just keep on teasing you throughout the whole thing. And then so he ends up getting in with the pro mutant crowd that wants freedom and air. And
hey, mutant kids, they're just as smart as rich kids. I'm just gonna say it.
No, you mean mutant kids? They're just like as smart as white kids, rich kids.
you know, Bucko. Let me tell you something about intelligence.
So he meets the mutant overlord.
You dog-faced mutant soldier pony.
You Polger, dog-faced Polger.
Which is basically just this like mini guy like stuck to another guy. It comes out of his stomach. And then at that point, the company comes in and they're like, "Oh, sweet, we got you in. Like, this is the best way to get somebody in was like to wipe your memory, because these psychics they can read your mind and all that." So that was like a super integral plot, very well thought out. And if that is what happened, and so
hey guys, everybody in the chat, I'm curious. If you have seen the movie, do you think it was a simulation, or do you think it was real? Post in the comments, because I'm curious.
The right answer is real.
I disagree, AC.
Say whatever you want. You can be wrong. It's fine.
Well, it's funny because it's like just like a ridiculous story. Like everything just keeps getting more and more ridiculous. Like it never.
And everything they mention in the beginning is brought to fruition and turns out to be true. Every single thing.
Yeah,
What if he was one of those mutant telepaths, and he was just?
Right. What if he was a Quato?
That's right. It all comes back.
Who would be his source body? Fat bastard from the Michael Myers place. I have psychic powers.
You are in my belly now.
Yeah.
I'm in his belly.
What if Arnold was the Quato?
Belly.
Yeah, and he's like,
I'm already in your belly.
He's like,
All right, real quick from James Hurley says, "I think it is real." Resident One says,
Hurley.
"I don't know, and I don't care." That's fair.
+1
That's
Hurley,
fair.
because you're right. Did you all notice the line whenever Arnold first gets to Mars and he's talking to somebody and he's just like, "Every last one? No." You remember that? If you take the first letter from that sentence, it actually spells out Elon, and Elon's interested in Mars. I was like, what in the world? Philip K. Dick.
You can't say that in front of AC. That's the entire show now.
No.
Bat spun out of existence on that one.
He's not on the short bus. He's in a hearse.
The show Iron Seas, it sinks for me.
There's a red button on this short bus, and it sinks the ship.
All right, let's point out. Let's go over some things that we really like. Criticisms. What do we like? What's some things that really stood out? Kahuna, you first.
Some of the effects were astoundingly. There you are. Don't touch me there. Anyway, what do you do? Christ. Some of the effects were pretty astounding. And I love that you took such a unintentionally comedic and also aggressive action star like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then combined it with this very serious Philip K. Dick story. And somehow all the elements come together and it just works. If you told me all of the ingredients, I don't think it would, truth be told, if I hadn't seen it already. but it just works, and it's really, really good.
Justin mentioned Elon. Talk about Neuralink the movie, right?
Yeah,
basically.
Harris,
you said it.
You said you didn't rewatch it. I mean, this was last minute for you, but
yeah.
Anything you remember? I know it'd probably be hard to.
Anything that stands out to you now is probably worth
movies?
remembering.
Besides the tripartite movies,
Tripartite.
let me see. I think I don't remember a lot of it. I remember more of the Earth scenes, like the fight with his wife and his wife being an agent. That's one of the ones that stood out in the airport escape, where he's,
Oh, I like the face, the mechanical mask. Yeah. That was wild, dude. That was so.
Oh, before I forget, some of the action scenes were so good. Like in the bar scene with just the mutants and the corporation, when the midget pulls out a knife and shanks the guy. I'm like, this is awesome. This is cinema, man.
They had to go through 2 intensive rounds of editing to make it rated R. Because it was like 8 times more violent in the original cut.
Really? It was very easy. They just had to stick a vagina on that one mutant's face.
That was hilarious. Pussy face guy.
I just thought his face was weird. I didn't see that.
I just thought it was a berserk character. Honestly,
it definitely looked like a vagina just across his face.
I was like, hey, it makes the guy more sympathetic.
Frankly, this movie has the whole package.
The whole package. Complete.
I got Siamese twins. You want to go to that bar?
Just grab him by the face, if you know what I mean.
Grab him by the face.
I always love the most expensive air.
There's nothing like top grade face. Anyway,
he has the best air. Frankly, all the other colonies says it's great. It's fantastic.
Beautiful.
In the top 1%.
Oh, Christ.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, anytime there's old movies from the 80s, any movie in general that predicts things way in the future, but they don't quite go far enough ahead, so you get these. It's like maybe some of it's right. Demolition Man did it really well. There's a lot of things in Demolition Man that are future predictive that are actually kind of close to what we have today. There was things in this movie that were fun though. The nails, where she just touches it and changes the color. I'm like, I can see that. That was cool. Thing. The X-ray thing.
Also, the aesthetic of this movie, it's futuristic, but it doesn't look polished like so many movies, like in the 2000s and on. Like when they show the future, they're like, look at this, look at iRobot. I like that movie with Will Smith, but it's so hyper polished most of the time. I'm like, that's not, I think, how it's going to look.
This movie participates in the psyop, though, that Mars is red.
You just vanished.
He's gone, dude. All the Mars aliens are like, get this guy out of here.
You guys do know that Mars is not actually red, right?
I don't know what color it is. I've never been there.
Hey, don't take something else away from the Native Americans.
It's just like anywhere on Earth. All those photos that show like a red Mars are all photoshopped by NASA.
Yeah, well,
NASA has one of the best Photoshop teams in the world.
Yeah, it's an image, not a photo. It's like everything you see. It's just an image. It's an artist.
Yeah, but they intentionally made it redder to make it look like outworldly. Yeah, it's like crazy. Everybody thinks Mars is red, but it's not.
Justin, don't say that about Earth, because then the flat earthers like, yeah, it's not a photo. It's not real.
That's a point, though. I mean, they say something that's like...
No, don't give them anything.
If you're right about something, you're right about something. I'm not going to say that they're right about everything, but if you're right about something, that's fine.
Wrong, frankly.
It is weird that NASA has primarily...
Earth is that color, because I think Earth is red.
That's all I gotta say.
The recall tech in it was cool. With the memory implants, that's something that is potentially on the future, so that was kind of cool. The X-ray machine, whenever they're walking through and they're like scanning them, that like little shootout scene, and he jumps through it. That was really
set up
fun.
For everything. Everything that's used later in the story is preemptively set up in the beginning. It's like, oh my god, we have competent writers. What is going on?
Yeah,
I like the jump.
On its surface, it's a goofy action flick, but dude, no, it's like a little. It's
It's not a brainless movie like people would anticipate.
Mm-hmm.
Michael,
it's
what were you saying?
A fun action movie version of Inception, like Inception, but silly.
Well,
and
the
fun.
ending gives you Inception vibes. Yeah.
Don't say that. Justin doesn't like that movie.
Yeah.
No.
Well, real quick, let's go to AC.
Justin,
what about your thoughts on it? And then we're gonna go back to Justin, and he could tell us what he hates about this movie.
Just general thoughts.
Well, like what stuck out. Generally speaking.
Yeah. I'll add some more. You know, that symbolism carries throughout the entire movie, like with damn near every scene. Like, and once you identify it, like in the beginning with like the spacesuit is really like the colony dome. You know what I mean? How objects are really other objects. If you like, once you identify the type of symbolism it's laying out, you can start seeing it everywhere. Like when the big bad evil guy is like monologuing to his little bald minion guy, he basically is just like, you got to do what you're told. You're my bitch. And then he just like turns and feeds some fish, and it's like, that's on purpose. Why would you just have him randomly feed some fish? There's a lot of other things, and it's for a good reason. It's because like everybody on Mars, all the small folk are in a big fish tank essentially, and he is the one feeding them, the one person keeping all the fish alive. They all have to rely on him.
Yeah, that has to be symbolism, because I'm like,
100%.
why do they keep showing the fish? And it's of course, it's symbolic. Yeah.
He's literally giving them air. Like he's selling them air and keeping them.
True. Yeah. Good point.
It's crazy.
Point.
Yeah. Good stuff.
All right, Justin, what's your problem with this movie, huh?
Other things from the past that I thought were cool that were like predictive of the future. You got hologram trainer. It's like, oh yeah, it's like not too different from we're coming up on that. Ready Player One kind of stuff. So I thought the hologram trainer was cool, and even when he uses it in the battle later on, that was some fun scene. He's like, he's like looking like.
Oh yeah, and then he's like,
the bullets aren't doing anything.
He's like, ha ha ha! You think I'm a hologram? Bam bam.
They have video phone in the car, which we basically have nowadays. The video phone in the car. I was like, that's
pretty much, yeah.
One thing about this movie that cracked me up. Holy crap! Was there a ton of ad placements? I hope that's probably why the budget was so high. They probably got a ton of money from these different companies. Yeah. There was so many ads for so many products, and it was fun because. Shoot, I didn't write them down. There was a ton. Rewatch it, you'll be like, oh hell yeah! It's like every.
If you watch, they're all over the place. But
there's a ton. I didn't write them down, but there was a bunch, and me and my wife were making fun of it. No, there's a lot. There's a lot.
That doesn't bother me as long as it's not like overt.
Did you guys notice how big some of the? Did you guys notice how big some of the sets in this movie were?
Yep.
It's partially because they just some of them were real locations that they altered slightly, but a lot of the sets in this were really impressive.
You could also feel like they were pretty hollow, so like a lot of those things are like made out of paper. You could tell, like, so they like can slide it in, slide it out very easily. Not that is a bad thing, but it's like obvious that's how the things were constructed. But yeah, the product placement. What I mean is, like, I think the best example of it poorly is Transformers when Marky Mark fucking chugs the beer for no reason at the Bud Light. Yeah.
No, the worst is in the first Iron Man when Iron Man catches the Audi with the family in it, and it shows the Audi's like perfectly unharmed after. That's the worst one.
Yeah.
No,
it's all bad.
Made me go look up Bark root beer because there's Barks advertised so much. I'm like, do they even make Barks anymore? I
didn't see a single Barks root beer.
Rewatch the first half hour. There are so many ads. Avion's in there. Avion bottled water. Barks. There was a bunch. There was at least 10 different companies that I was like, wow, they're just like full front with this thing. Full frontal advertising. But
full frontal advertising.
Good news, Barks still exists. I just haven't seen it in a store in a while. But it's
Box root beer. It make you wish you had 3 hands.
Justin, it's more popular on the West Coast. People love Barks around here.
Okay.
They missed a total opportunity there.
That said, to answer your question, I just wanted to make sure I wanted to hit on those points because I had them listened out here. I didn't hate anything about this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was a good movie top to bottom. I love the practical effects. I love the 80s vibes of it. But at the same time, I'm cool maybe seeing it one more time or never again. I'm fine with either one. And this is a term that I think needs to be broad with movies in general. Whenever you see a movie that's like, yeah, it was really good, go see it. If you've never watched it again, you won't care. You might watch it one other time, whatever. Like, I don't know. Maybe I haven't seen Oppenheimer, but I feel like that's an example in his movies. There's good movies out there. I don't want to watch again and again. You watch it, you enjoy it, we move on with life. A lot of people say that about Wolverine and Deadpool. It's the kind of thing like, yeah, I watched it one time. I don't care if I ever see it again. I've heard a lot of people say that. I haven't seen it myself. To me, there needs to be a term for this kind of movie because this is one of those movies. It was good. Go see it. You're going to like it. You're going to enjoy it. If you never see it again, you won't care. That's how I felt.
Makes you a beta cuck.
Thank you. I agree with that statement. Yeah.
He's like, oh, where's that clip at? Oh, yeah.
Are you insane?
No.
This is a very rewatch. I think this is a very rewatchable movie, in my opinion.
It gave me the exact same vibes as when I read Ubik. Obviously, it's the same author. The very first thing I did when I finished Ubik, I reread it, and I never reread a book immediately after. That's never happened before.
What?
What?
You never reread a book?
No. Right after, or like in a short period of time. Like I've never. I don't that often.
I need like
a year or two
every year on his birthday, starting next year. I'm going to teach him about the neural link.
Yeah.
Fear. About the fear of Mars. I'm going to put the fear of Mars in his heart.
Get your ass to Mars.
If I had time.
Anybody who's different, you hear me, Xander? Mutants, you stay away from them. The mutants.
If I had time,
if you're not male, if your gender isn't male or female, mutant, send them to Mars.
Stop.
Oh God.
Oh man. That was a good. That was a great. There was a couple of really good insults in this movie. Some good quotes. Yeah. No wonder you're having nightmares. You're always watching the news.
That's good.
That's why I was like, dude, Justin's gonna love this. There's like so many awesome quotes in this.
Quippy.
Mutant is a great insult word. It's right there with a Muppet. It's a great insult.
The actions.
What are you talking about?
And the blue collar wisdom at the very beginning. Sorry, Bats to cut you off, but at the very beginning, whenever he's talking to the construction worker, who's telling him like, "Hey, don't go that thing." He's like, "Hey, don't F with your brain, pal. It ain't worth it." I was like, that is blue collar wisdom right there. And then the guy ended up being a bad guy, which made me mad, but I appreciate that. Sorry.
So the visuals are on point on this movie. The action is on point in this movie, and both of those hold up to this day. This story is on point. And I mentioned in our comments that like this is such a clear example of sci-fi and not sci-fi fantasy, where like Star Wars is barely sci-fi. It's really sci-fi fantasy. I mean, you got a lot of movies, especially today, that are just like more fantasy than they are sci-fi. This is hard, actual sci-fi where we're like, what is a world look like when we have this technology we can fuck with people's memories? And also, we're going to throw a horror element into it where you can't fucking tell because shit gets that mixed up and gray. Like I love that. It just like makes you think you're just.
I don't know. I think the stomach guy might have been a wizard. I'll be frank. But...
Oh man, I want this movie. I want the horror movie version of it and the full fantasy version too.
Well, it's so cool. It's got memory
building.
Holy shit!
The memory wiping. It's got mutants. It's got Mars. It's got space aliens.
Frankly,
what has it done to have? Like dystopian corporations, like
it basically set up a
Sharon
whole world.
Stone being nice doesn't have that.
Boobies shown in the first 5 minutes in the movie. That's what I'm talking about.
They are not shy about the tits in this film at all.
Bring back boobies being shown in the first 5 minutes of a movie.
That's all they did. They're like, how do we keep the guys hooked? No, I get just the thing.
You know, and later in the movie, like, you know what's better than 2 boobs? What?
5.
3.
No, I had the thought when I'm watching this. I had to like pause it and like talk to my wife. I'm like, Jesus Christ! It's like when you think like
why can't you have 3 boobs?
No, it's like people always wonder if it's like, oh, are we just being nostalgic about stuff? And like people think that we have TikTok brains or something like that. And then rewatching this movie, it's like, no, this movie keeps you captured the entire time. It's entertainment 100% through the way, and it's not just dumb entertainment. It's like thoughtful stuff going on.
And it was well paced enough to keep Justin watching it, which is a freaking miracle at this point.
And I never picked up my phone once.
Yeah, I did. I had to watch it. Well, I didn't have to. I got to watch
Yeah,
it.
probably when the 3 tits came out, huh? Yeah,
He's like, we can just skip that.
Ew, too many.
Ew.
Raw.
You look at your wife. I don't even like those.
Boobs. Two things that have only never let me down in this entire country's history: the First Amendment and boobs.
Her expression in that clip is gold. Anyway,
It's so funny.
It has the opposite problem from Kung Pao.
I didn't
the
see that.
uniboob chick.
Oh,
Oh. I misheard. I thought you said Kung Fu Panda in my head. I was so confused. I'm like, when were there tits in Kung Fu Panda?
You make me wish I had 3 hands.
Jack Black the entire time, man.
Wish I had 3 mouths. Anyway.
I was gonna say, this movie, it set up an entire wonderful sci-fi universe / world. They even referenced visiting Saturn, so humanity even has vacations to Saturn. We are intersolar in that universe. It's very cool. And well,
or just
it's
the
all
memories.
a dream.
Is Mars even real?
Right, it's all a dream.
Yeah,
but that just frustrates me even more with the remake because they did away with Mars completely. And like they just went their own way. They're like, okay, we're gonna keep the 3 boob chick. We're gonna say a few of the same lines, and it's all just gonna be on Earth about
Call it like
global
something
warming.
else, and then
Remake
just make
had
your
the
own
boob
story.
chick? I don't remember that.
Yeah,
They
you
brought
can't
the 3
not.
boob chick over, but then they like ignored
I
everything
just
else. except for
remember
a few lines.
They took the important things away from the story, I guess.
You can't remake a movie
I
that
don't know.
still
I'm a
holds up
smart Hollywood
10
writer.
years later.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
No, you can. You just fucking shouldn't.
Yeah.
Also
Hollywood. Remember about they would you don't have to come up with this all new original story. Almost every movie in existence is based off of a book in some form or fashion. Just find a good book. Find a good way to adapt it. It's not rocket science. Your writers suck.
But what if I need
boy.
put my own mark on things and I can't, so I need to ride on the coattails of someone else to do that?
I understand you need a gender-neutral whale of a character to represent how you feel on the inside.
Good. Okay, good.
But we don't want.
So I know
Specifically a
that
whale.
the ambiguous ending has upset you, but before we get into ambiguous endings as kind of a semi-topic,
Was it ambiguous?
the ending.
Was it?
Yeah, he's like, if this is a dream, we better make it quick or make it count.
We better make out now. This could be a dream.
It's definitely ambiguous. Like I said, I have a theory that the guy, he's the scrambled patient that they refer to in the beginning of the story. That from the very beginning, he's in a dream.
That's a less common theory, but I really like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because
I mean, with Philip Dick, you would never know. He always leaves this stuff ambiguous. But I'm curious, what let you down in this movie? Well, what for you was a negative?
For me?
Yeah.
It
We'll go in
was
reverse.
overall. It's like let's say you go out on a date with a girl and she's great. You really enjoyed your time with her, but it's just not there. There's like a deeper thing that you can't even put into words. It's just like this feeling. That's it. It's art, just something about it. I'm like, if I never see her again, that's fine. I wish her the best. It was fine if other people enjoy her company. Somebody else marries her, great.
That's kind of gay.
But Highlander has it.
Oh, dude, Highlander's
Mother effer.
I'm absolutely gonna watch Highlander again.
Thank you
dude.
for bringing that up. What the
Mother
fuck?
Dude, Highlander hits, man. That's a fun
This
movie.
movie spanks Highlander and puts it to bed without dessert.
So much better. on
Recall
so
of
many.
Queen? No, doesn't.
Justin, I don't even know what to tell.
my only
You don't have to
my
tell
only
me
thought
anything,
on
man.
that is my only thought on that is if Highlander and Total Recall were am I
Oh no, you're back.
Same
you're back.
universe.
back,
Same
you're back.
universe.
oh, here we go. Woo! If Highlander and Total Recall were in a relationship, Highlander would be the wife.
All right, so let's talk about ambiguous endings then. Because
Real quick, Bill Armstrong, you can't believe you're agreeing with me? You should always agree with me. Anyway, go ahead.
there's not too many things I've done the ambiguous ending before. Typically, when you think of it, unless it's Inception, which I think we agree that Inception had a good ambiguous ending.
The ending sucked.
Okay, sure.
Justin wants
Pick
answers.
something, writer. Pick something. Commit here. Pick something, man.
No,
It's like a pick your own.
It's dusted around tea with my buddies. Like, how's your chamomile? Did it fall? Did it stand? Pick something, man.
No,
Commit.
it's almost the more difficult choice to not pick something.
False.
No, because the writer has something in mind how he wants to end it, and he's choosing to not make the clear ending to make
He
it.
doesn't want. It's like George R.R. Martin. He doesn't write the last book because
It's not.
It's
not like George.
He doesn't want the blowback, so he's like,
No.
we'll just leave it ambiguous and go.
No, he has to
No.
finish it. That's such a
It's
bad
not
example.
ambiguous.
Bad
Hold on,
example.
hold on. I got to clear this up. It's not ambiguous. George Martin cleared it up. The reason he didn't write his book is because of fascists.
Look.
Carry on.
His last book is a spinning top. Does it fall? Does it not fall? Does it get written? Does it not? We don't know. Oh, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It was
bad comparison.
It works for the story.
Bad comparison, Justin.
Go with Sopranos. Jesus Christ, where
didn't
Sopranos
see
did the biggest
Sopranos.
ending, and everybody hated it.
Yeah.
There are books like there's a book by Ted Decker. I like Ted Decker, but I did not like this book. It's called Skin, and it does the same thing. It's like, oh, was this all a simulation and training experiment, or was
all
it
the
real? And it
Goosebumps,
doesn't answer.
right?
Yeah.
Don't all the Goosebump books do that?
No, they have a twist ending. They don't have an ambiguous ending most of the time. Yeah. It's like, oh, the monster that's been chasing the kids, it turns out these kids are juvenile versions of a different monster that eats that kind of monster. That's the kind of ending Goosebumps has.
Is it What We Do in the Dark or something like that? Maybe
that was
what
that's
French porn are you reading, dude?
No, the campfire one. The kids all around the campfire, and then they talk about what they all tell their own story. No, it's not What We Do in the Dark. It's fuck it. Come on, you don't know.
Oh wait, are you afraid? Are you afraid of the dark? You're talking about the
There
90s
you go.
show. Yeah,
There you go.
Okay, yeah, I know that. Yeah.
yeah.
But,
Episodes.
no, ambiguous story endings. Yeah, it can very much definitely be the lazy choice. Where like Sopranos would be like, fuck off, dude. Really, you're gonna make us wait 10 seasons? You're not gonna tell us it's gonna fucking end? But like, there are certain stories where I'm just like, wow, I think this is the perfect one. I think the way to end it. I think Inception is one of those. I think this movie is definitely one of them where the ambiguous ending just works.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of other ambiguous endings. I can think of one. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think in Inception's case, I have a theory about that. I think the whole movie was an inception to get you talking about the movie. I think that was the point of the movie, is to basically pull in an inception on the viewer.
Well,
Actually, James Hurley, the Mist does have, in the novel or novella, I guess, it does have an ambiguous ending. They drive off into the mist, hoping to get somewhere, but they don't know if they're going to get there, and you never find out. And then the movie came out with the most fuck you ending of all time.
With the Punisher guy?
Yeah.
And he shoots everyone.
Dude,
and then gets rescued.
That movie messed me up. We
watched it like 3 months ago, and it's just bad top to bottom to go back to.
What?
Okay, Total Recall. Okay. Total Recall. Total Recall. We can't listen to too many Justin bad takes.
Justin hates movie. Pikachu face.
I don't understand how you could like have any negative feeling towards this movie. I dare say this movie is a 10 out of 10.
I'm gonna say it's pacing. That's why Justin feels the way he does. He likes it.
It's got such good pacing.
Pacing was good.
It has good pacing, but it has really harsh tonal shifts.
Imagine this whole story being over.
I mean, that's part of the movie is with the like fucking you around, being like, like when the guy comes into the scene, he's like, you're still in the dream. Like that's a total shift, and you're like, what the fuck? What?
Yeah.
Is this a dream?
The last line of the movie is a tease. Is like a tease. It's like, oh well, I'm gonna kiss you either way. Like if this is a dream, let's do this before it's over. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, he was psychologically cheating on his wife.
Oh yeah,
his wife.
Well, he deep down.
Was the wife real? Is Sharon Stone real?
Right. Yeah. Never.
But I don't know. Am I wrong to say like am I crazy to give? Not asking Justin. Am I crazy to suggest that this movie is a 10 out of 10?
Well, if you go according to like the way I rate things, I look at did they achieve what they were trying to achieve, and if the answer is yes, that's a big plus, regardless of how else I feel about it. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10 because for me, a 10 out of 10 movie is like it's going to be in my top list of all time. Like, yeah. And it's not one of those, but I was shocked by how good this movie was.
Right.
I'll say that. I like, it's a bare minimum for me, an 8 out of 10. It's really excellent.
I think I'm like Emily. I think it's a really good movie and it's really fun, but
you take it out to a dinner date, but you wouldn't marry it.
Yeah, I'll watch it when it's on, but if it's not on, I'll be like, okay, whatever. But
I'll say it's a 9.5.
I'll be like, yeah, that's a great movie.
You got to rewatch the one, Michael. I suggest when you're off of this, go rewatch it, and I guarantee you're probably gonna like enjoy it more than you did before, especially with all the slop that's out now.
That's true.
You know, that might be part of the problem. I haven't watched the slop at all.
Oh.
At all. I don't have that perspective. I don't have that clouding like my vision. I stopped watching new stuff in like 2017. Full stop. We cut all streaming, everything, and it's just been DVDs since then.
I don't blame you.
Yeah,
my movies are like, I live in the 80s, 90s, some 2000s. So that's probably maybe that helps color my.
But you take a double decker on some of the best movies ever made all the time.
It's not double decker. They're fine.
Yeah.
You said Rocky. You didn't like Rocky.
Yeah, Rocky. I don't like him as a character, but we can talk about this some other time.
Wait,
I think there's some contrivances.
He's a loan
in
shark. His house is a mess. He creeps on that girl. He's got a knife in the wall. She's like, "Well, nobody else is in Philadelphia. I guess I'll hook up with you." Bugs in the room. Oh, I'm still a loan shark, but no, I guess I'm a good guy. Everybody forgot about that part of my life.
All right, AC,
I'm having an aneurysm, dude. Okay.
AC, how do you feel about this?
The flaws I would say would be in like some of the contrivances. Like, I like the idea of a taxi on Mars bringing you to different districts, or better yet, like if there was like a train station, you know.
Well, you know, it
like,
wasn't a robot this time.
Right.
It was a robot.
That was the main thing. Yeah. More symbolism, right? More symbolism. Yeah. But I think I don't know if they would have. I think that part is suffering from the time it came out. I think that's one of the benefits of a modern one. Like, imagine if it was like actually crazy detailed and felt like a colony instead of just two big rooms next to each other, essentially.
Yeah, I can see that.
I digress. I'm just being nitpicky to try to think of anything. I like the movie. I agree with Emily.
What about the scene with the taxi cab where he tears it out because he can't stand it? Just like Alexa.
Great.
It's just like Alexa, and then he goes and kill him because he doesn't pay it.
Autocorrect or voice.
I also like the robot taxi drivers and how they don't really work that well. I'm like, that's real. That's definitely. Everybody's like, I want to get a self-driving car as a taxi. I'm like, absolutely not. I do not want to rely on.
I need a street address and a number.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I mean, all that aside, that's just being nitpicky. They probably would have needed double the budget or whatever if they still wanted to have all the other stuff that they had in there. Plus, they already cut a bunch of it away. So, you know, it is what it is. But I like it.
All right. Well,
8.
I mean, we're all giving it high numbers. 8. We got a.
I'd say an 8.5 at least.
8.5?
I think that's fair.
I'd give it. I think 8.5 is a minimum on this. I think if you went lower than 8, you're lying.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I'm the high rater on this.
Well, it's
like your
Sci-Fi
turbo
stuff,
Titan A with the classic.
Well,
he's trash. But
you saw the guy. You saw the little guy in the stomach, no beard, and you felt represented.
We have to redo Titan AE. We have to redo Titan AE because it was only me.
Actually, we really don't need to.
And I was in Italy. Really I could barely. Yeah, it's
Creed did the soundtrack for that movie, right?
They did the trailer. I know that.
Did they really? I was just joking. But hey,
no, because it's like it's in the trailer, and you keep on like psychologically. I always remember a specific scene of being like,
"Hold me now, I'm 6 feet from the earth, and I'm
in the movie."
I thought we were gonna truck up. We sung it.
Baby, 6 feet
up. I can't wake up.
Not crazy.
All right, guys. I think we all agree.
That was their.
Get your ass to Mars. All right, boys.
3 hands. Man, I got 5 kids to feed.
If you keep doing that, something you do not want is going to happen to you with 100% certainty.
I love how dead serious that clip is for this show.
Yeah. You dare use my spells against me, Potter?
You just watched a clip from the Iron Seas podcast. Make sure to like this, subscribe, it helps us out a little bit. And please catch the show live at 9:30 Eastern every Tuesday.